There's mainly three characteristics that define every hand you're dealt. We're going to spend some time going over the importance of suitedness, connectedness, and high card strength individually in the following slides. But for now, just realize that every decision you make in poker is centered around the amount of equity you have in the pot. Each one of these hand characteristics, in one way or another, influences the amount of equity you have in any given hand. So when you're judging the quality and playability of each hand, these are the characteristics to look for. Let's start off with talking about suitedness. Now, a second ago, we established that the overall goal of playing poker is to accumulate as much equity as possible. Holding suited cards is a fantastic starting point for accomplishing this for several reasons that we'll get into in a moment. But for example, notice that a double suited hand flops no flush draw or backdoor flush draw of either suit only 15% of the time. And considering that flushes beat straights, suited hands have a ton of value in PLO. Altogether, a single suited hand flops a flush 1% of the time, and a flush draw 12% of the time, while a double suited hand flops a flush roughly 2% of the time, and a flush draw 23.5% of the time. There's mainly 5 reasons why life is always going to be better when you're either single suited or double suited. First, it gives you a lot more outs against the set. For example, adding a flush draw to a wrap gives you way more equity than if you hold only a wrap. On top of that, holding suited cards provides you with the opportunity to seize the most profitable spot in poker, the free roll. There's a variety of free roll spots that exist in PLO, but the most common one you'll see is when two players hold the nut straight, but one of them has a flush draw to go along with it. Draw domination is one of the more obvious examples of why suitedness is important, because wraps lose a lot of outs on two-tone boards, particularly in multi-way pots. So if you have a flush draw to go along with your wrap, it transforms your hand into a monster, and therefore you can stand a lot more heat from other players. As you'll see later, holding the nut flush draw in PLO is a big deal. The presence of backdoor equity is one of the main differences between No Limit and PLO. Not that there isn't any backdoor equity in No Limit, but there's just so much more of it in PLO. Having a backdoor flush draw allows you to not only realize your equity and show down a winner, but it also gives you the opportunity to semi-bluff profitably as well. Last, like we talked about in core PLO concept number 5, having suited cards not only gives you draws to the winning hand, but it prevents them from winning the hand as well. And in situations like we talk about in lesson 11, having the suited ace provides you with good bluffing opportunities.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Casino Crime here. Now, if you like this video and you want more, then go ahead and click the subscribe button below right now. And if you want to join me for more of my 6 max success secrets and free video tutorials, just click the link to the right. See you inside the trainings. Good luck.